matamu tu.
Sometimes I just sit here and wonder, how do I introduce this one? It's an odd thing for me sometimes just to figure out how to introduce. It's the Matamu 2 podcast! Woohoo!
Yeah.
Let me take a moment to just thank each and every one of you who has taken time to interact with us so far on the second season of the podcast. And we are really enjoying your questions and comments on YouTube especially. So for today's episode, we're going to tackle the topic of pumpkins. I have a guest in studio with me. Karibu sana, Adrian.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Ebu, tell us a little bit about yourself.
This I hadn't had my coffee yet. So
Are you one of those ones who is activated by coffee?
Well, my energy will be picking up along the day.
It is fine.
I get charged either by the sun or by coffee.
So you must be Superman's African brother.
Yeah, I look it, right?
Kabisa, absolutely.
Okay, so I'm Adrian.
Yes.
Adrian Kibai. I am a digital media strategist.
Ooh, so fancy.
It's not really fancy.
Kind of. Take it.
I'll take it. And I also, I don't know. What else would you want to know? Apart from my name.
Apart from your name and what you do, tell us a little bit about who Adrian is. Like just a little bit. What's the aside from the digital, what do you do?
I'm drawing a blank.
When did you?
So suddenly you don't know about yourself, and someone asks you, "Tell us about yourself." Okay, where do I start? I also run my own podcast.
Oh, nice.
I have 2 blogs.
You're a man of many hats.
I wear many hats.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing. Right. Adrian will actually tell us a little bit more about himself and what he's been doing a bit later on in the podcast. But for now, pumpkins, malanges. They are an annual fruit within the genus Cucurbita, and they're usually harvested and eaten when they're mature. Unlike other things in that same genus. So you have your cucumbers, your courgettes, which are harvested and eaten when they're immature, when the skin isn't as tough. So they're eaten with the skin. But pumpkins usually are not eaten with the skin.
Yeah.
But my mother eats them with the skin. So it's the weirdest thing. I actually enjoy them with the skin as much as I don't with the skin. Without the skin.
This episode is about to get weird.
It is. So most of these pumpkins, when they are harvested, can be able to be kept for quite a few months. So that's why, if you look at it from the scientific perspective, pumpkins are actually under the winter squash, I want to say family. Mm-hmm. Yes, family. Because they're usually planted right before winter, then they're eaten throughout the winter, which is like 2-3 months. And the cultivar that we're most familiar with in Kenya is in the family of the Calabaza or West Indian pumpkins. These are the ones that have the green skin and they look like a leopard. They have dots.
They have spots,
right? Most of us also know the butternut squash. And most recently, a giant pumpkin variety from Israel got introduced to Kenya and it's doing pretty well so far. You have it growing, especially I've seen it quite a bit in the South Rift, Western Kenya and Central Kenya. So these are the big pumpkins you see when you're going on the road.
Oh.
Yeah. And they're pretty tasty. And interestingly enough, they're actually in the same family as the gourd. And all Kenyan homes had a gourd somewhere.
The gourd.
A gourd.
Yes,
I
know the gourd. Does it come from?
It's the same family. They're cucurbits.
Right.
Can you imagine? So the same thing that the same thing that you're drinking the uji out of is the same thing that you're eating with the uji. It's a thing. It's totally a thing, by the way. Do you have a gourd hanging somewhere in your house?
It used to at our family home.
Yes. It was the standard for back in the day, and everybody back then used to have 1 or 2 gourds with, and they used to use candles. They used to use candles to decorate. So
the decorated ones are all over our African homes.
It's such a thing. It's such a thing. I don't know why we left it.
Especially if you're from Western Nyanza. those sides.
Yes, for sure.
You have to have an aguata in there somewhere.
You can't kosa.
Yeah.
You can't kosa. And it was really, really, really good for fermenting milk. Really, really good.
Was it?
Okay.
I imagine it comes as a full container, not the half, right?
Yeah, see, as the aguata when it's full. Yeah, so you use it
it's
for...
the one they put mursik in.
Exactly. So you use it to actually ferment the milk.
Holy shit! It's been right in front of me the whole time.
I see I am educating you with time.
It's been right in front of me the whole time.
So pumpkins are actually really great for you. They're very nutritious and particularly rich in vitamin A. And that high antioxidant content that will reduce the risk of chronic diseases because, it fights all those free radicals. And the pumpkins have vitamins that boost immunity, vitamins like zeaxanthin. Which
how do you spell that?
Zeaxan. Imeshinda.
Yeah, I thought it was with an X.
But okay, there's vitamins. To say there's vitamins.
Yeah, someone failed.
Somebody, somewhere. It has refused. The cow has refused me. I've not had my coffee today, but it's fine. Life will move on. Pumpkins also have a very low calorie content. And they're very nutrient dense, despite having a low calorie. Low calorie content. So they promote weight loss. And they're very palatable, right? So that's why they're popular as starter foods for children. And so now the question comes, what makes pumpkins unpopular? Let's start with you. Do you like pumpkins?
I'm starting to think the thing you've just mentioned right now about pumpkins being there since our childhood is the reason why we don't eat them as much when we are adults.
Absolutely.
It's because
you've eaten so much of it.
Yes, it's the same reason I don't eat ugali. I don't even have flour in the house.
Are you Kenyan?
I don't have ugali.
Are you Kenyan?
It gets spoiled.
I hear you.
I've had 2 kgs for like 3-4 months unopened.
Oh wow.
It went
bad.
It went bad.
So that means then you if somebody brings you a gift of pumpkin, your story meisha.
Yeah, just bring me this. Take me somewhere where they're serving soup.
That's it.
Yeah,
that's the only type that you like.
I like the soup because I don't have to deal with the chunks and it's just gross.
I hear you.
Unless it's mashed into something else. Say for instance, the way people do butternut.
Yes.
I don't realize it's butternut until I ask, what's really in this food? And they tell me, I threw a little butternut. Oh, that's what you did.
Okay, that's interesting. So, that's interesting. I think because of my mother, I really need to bring my mother onto this podcast because I keep on talking about my mother every so often. My mother loves pumpkins. Loves pumpkins.
Yeah, you said she eats them.
She eats just the way they are. Everything. Abakishi. I'm telling you, it's just the only thing on a pumpkin she'll not eat is the stalk.
What?
Everything else goes. And she lives in Kisii, so it's our go-to breakfast. Whenever I'm on my way to Kisii, I will always stop somewhere in Bomet County and buy a pumpkin or 2 or 3, so that when I get home, we can have pumpkin for breakfast, right?
Yeah.
And it's like the standard easiest breakfast. You just chop up a pumpkin, put it in some water, put it with some rosemary probably for the aroma, and boil it as you're doing your uji. So then when the uji is done, the pumpkin's done. And breakfast in 30 minutes tops, which is fantastic for us.
I didn't know people throw in rosemary
for the aroma, so that give it a bit of spiciness, just a little bit. Well, we learned it.
We learn every day.
We learned that actually after eating pumpkin just the way it is for quite a while, and we're like, okay, now it's getting boring.
Yes.
So we just started putting random things in there just to see what can work. So actually, cinnamon, rosemary works very, very well to be able to give you that nice smelling aroma in your pumpkins, right? And now the thing about pumpkins though is that they're very patapotea.
How so?
You look at a pumpkin, it looks fantastic. You ask the seller, which one? This one will be nice. They'll be like, yeah, itakuwa tamu sana. This one will be very tasty. Then you go and cut the thing and you boil it and it's just flat.
Bland.
It's bland. There's no sweetness. And the next time you go and say, okay, now this one was not nice. Give me that one. But then you go and get it. This is just
it's
flat.
A hit or miss. It's
very hit or miss. And it has really nothing to do with the exterior, because you used to think that the different colors would affect the flavor, right?
Yeah.
But I have seen orange pumpkins which are not sweet. I have seen green pumpkins which are hella sweet. Yeah. I guess it has to do with the soil where they're grown, the water as well, how much sunlight they got, and all those other factors, genetics and such like things. I wish there was like an app for you could point it at the pumpkin and it could tell you whether this one is sweet or not.
Right. No. Nah.
Really? Why?
I don't know. It's a hit or miss, as you've said. But
yes.
You know what's not a hit or miss? Pumpkin leaves.
Absolutely. And we're going to get into that shortly. But let's talk about pumpkins in chapels. And I mentioned this in the chapati episode.
I love that. I love that. But eat on that day.
Not later.
Eat on that day and forget about those chapels.
Why?
Not for storage. Those, when you throw in carrots in there, when you throw in pumpkins, when you throw in any extra things that might make it go bad quick, just eat it on the day, enjoy, move on.
But if you actually do your pumpkins well, that means that you boil them and then you give them a bit of time to dry up. Yeah, so you don't boil and then immediately throw with all that magi into the dough, right?
I don't know how they do it really.
Okay, let me educate. Let me educate you a bit.
Go on.
So you actually need to boil, yeah? You need to boil the pumpkin before you start integrating it into your food, right?
Yeah.
So you once you've boiled the pumpkin, most people would just boil it and then immediately put it into the dough just to give it elasticity and such like things. But what I learned is that if you boil it, remove the pumpkin from the water, let it sit out for a minute so that steam can rise and dry out the pumpkin a little bit. That way your chapatis will actually be able to stay. They'll be able to keep for a day or two after you have cooked. It works. It works. I don't know how, but it works. And let me share some interesting things I found about pumpkins. Now, the word itself comes from the Greek word pepon, which means a large melon. Though the first documented use of that word was in a fairy tale, Cinderella. You know about Cinderella, right?
Yes, I do know about Cinderella, okay, good. Yes.
I don't know why it was important for them to put a pumpkin as the carriage. I don't get it. Now, all parts of the pumpkin plant are edible. And as you were saying, in rural, probably central and western Kenya, it's common to have a small pumpkin patch out back because of the leaves, which are a very favorite vegetable. Unapenda sana hiyo?
Yeah, it goes into a lot of meals very well.
Have you ever had pumpkin leaves and then somebody has fried a little bit of goat meat and integrated?
Now,
a recipe.
Show me where they sell that.
That recipe is going to be coming.
Show me where they sell that. Show me where they sell that. I think I'm down.
Somebody cooked that for me one day. I was like, okay, this makes sense. The only problem with pumpkin leaves, the problem that I have with pumpkin leaves is that if you eat a bit too much, and it's very easy to eat a bit too much because they're so good, my friend, you're going to have a very hard time a couple of hours later.
Why? Why is this?
The fiber content of the pumpkin leaves, because they're mostly fiber and water.
All right.
So you're eating like almost 3 times the amount of fiber you'd be normally eating if you're eating skuma wiki or such like. So it's gonna bind. I'm not going to say much more than that. It's gonna bind. It's gonna be a hard time. And here's something for the men. Natural medicine practitioners have proven that consuming pumpkin seeds actually reduces your risk of prostate cancer and other disorders. So eat your pumpkin seeds, man. They actually taste really nice once roasted and salted.
Did you hear about that small rumor about pumpkin seeds getting pan-fried and then being eaten as njugu?
Yeah. People do that all the time.
You know, I heard it's good for the libido.
Yes, it is. It's there's zinc content or something.
Yeah, I heard it keeps you going.
It keeps you going for quite a while. So eat your pumpkins, man.
Yeah. Eat your pumpkins.
Eat your pumpkins. Many people think of pumpkins as just orange or green.
I've never seen green, let me not lie.
The green with the dots. Right?
Oh, the spotted one.
The spotted ones. That's
I
green.
I just thought
not
it
just
was
green. No, those ones that are green.
I thought it was transitioning.
No, those ones that are green actually.
Oh.
Yes. But pumpkins can also be white, yellow, red, or blue, depending on the variety, because there are different also wild varieties that have the different colors. And now it's time for guest questions. This is my favorite part of the podcast. And before we go into guest questions, actually, I need you guys to go to YouTube. Go to YouTube right now. The link is in the show notes. If you're not in the show notes, you can go to YouTube and search Matamu 2. While you're there, I need you to subscribe. I need you to like this video. I need you to take all those notifications in, and please do it. Please subscribe. We need subscribers. Thank you.
Don't forget.
All right, guest questions. Question number 1.
Yeah.
What is the weirdest or most interesting pumpkin recipe that you have heard of or you want to try?
You remember when you mentioned we call it risosa?
Yes.
The leaves. The pumpkin leaves with the goat meat and
yes.
I'll tolerate ugali
you
on
would.
that day. I'll tolerate ugali on
just that day.
But a slice of ugali.
Otherwise, ugali netting.
Nah. You'd have to put me in a CIA black. Is this a CIA black site?
No. There's no black site. There's no black site here. Relax.
It looks black to me.
It's because I'm wearing black.
No, the walls. It's the walls.
Okay. The next question is a question that was asked by our co-producer here, Sherry.
Yeah.
If there was no water left in this world and your only option was to bathe with pumpkin soup, would you?
As long as it's not spicy, I'd consider it, yeah, because I'd be drinking. You know how you drink your shower water sometimes.
Hold up. Wait. What?
Yeah.
What?
It runs in the mouth anyway.
The words are failing me. The words are failing me.
You don't just put your mouth up and then
No.
runs down your mouth. You see, there's some people who do this. This is the weirdest thing ever. I've tried it. It's actually childishly fun. When you're showering, brush your teeth at the same time, and then now just open your mouth like a whale catching planktons on the surface of the ocean. Open your mouth and then let it run. Let it run.
I think the podcast just took a turn for the worse.
You wanted an answer, didn't you?
Okay, moving on from that point, because I can't deal. What's been your go-to pandemic recipe?
I'll go for every meal, yeah?
Yes, please.
Breakfast. It's usually 2 slices of toasted bread, pan toasted preferably.
Yes.
I realize the toaster doesn't do it how I like it. Pan toasted to maybe light brown. An egg in between.
Yes.
2 eggs rather. Very well beat. Then that's it. Yeah. Then broccoli and baked beans.
This guy is fancy.
With milk on the side.
This
Yes.
guy is hella fancy. Broccoli.
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe one day you'll get to talk about it here.
One day soon.
Yeah. All I'll have to say is have it. Then for lunch.
Yes.
For lunch, it's usually something pre-cooked. A pre-cooked stew with maybe rice.
Okay.
Or yeah.
Okay. And dinner?
Same thing.
Something pre-cooked.
My lunches and dinners are not fancy.
Okay.
Breakfast.
That's where you go all out, eh?
Breakfast, I go all out.
Okay. He's going to share with us his recipe for broccoli and baked beans. It just sounds interesting.
Yeah, pan fry the broccoli with a little black pepper. Yes, that's the one.
Okay.
A little black pepper and salt.
Adrian will actually share that with us, and we're going to share it with you guys.
Yes.
And now this is the time where you can tell us a little bit more about what you've been getting up to and what you'd like our listeners to know.
So, I have a lot of interesting facts about me. I sing.
Say it again.
I sing.
You do?
Yes, I
Where?
do sing. Mostly karaoke nowadays. Hardly get the chance to do it professionally.
So unfortunate.
Yeah. But I enjoy a lot of choral music. Yeah. And then, what else? I write erotica.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yes. If you're curious, randypontiff.com.
We are going to put the link to that in the show notes as well.
Please. The Pontiff is with the double F.
Okay.
The Randy is with a Y.
Just to be sure.
Yeah, the Y is for why am I here?
Uh-huh.
Then you'll find out.
Kabisa.
And then I have a podcast as well, Randy Radio.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, by my alter ego, Randy Pontiff.
Okay.
I bet you'll enjoy it.
I'm going to link to both the podcast and the erotica blog.
I bet they will enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because we talk about matters around sex, everything that pertains to it, all the kind of strokes.
All strokes.
Yeah.
All strokes for different folks.
Yes. All of those.
All right.
Yeah, so get in there. We haven't done episodes in a while because life, and creativity is not linear.
No, it's not. It's
one day you have it, the next you don't.
It's gone.
Yeah. So it's been a minute, but you guys, the content is quite good. So go on and listen sometime. Yeah, you can find them. You can find the podcast on Google Podcasts or actually any platform. Just
all the platforms.
Yeah, just look up Randy Radio. If you're on Apple Podcasts, you'll find it there.
Cool.
Etc. Yes.
Yes. All right. Is that all you do?
Well, the rest is boring, to be honest. What I do for money is boring.
Okay. I had that you're a plug for plugs.
Well, yes. When you get onto randypontiff.com, you will see all the kinds of sex toys you'd ever need. Interesting. And this is the most interesting bit about sex toys. They can also be food.
How?
Well, I'll try and come up with I'll call it a recipe for disaster. We'll make sure we introduce pumpkin into the bedroom.
Okay, that is going to be an interesting
pumpkins
recipe for disaster.
Pumpkins you see the pumpkin. It's there for a reason. The bits are done and our quickie bits are over. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Matamu Podcast. Thank you so much for coming, Adrian. I really appreciate it. And subscribe on your favorite player and go to our YouTube page. Yeah. Hit subscribe, drop us a comment, tell us about all that you've read on the Randy Pontiff, and please do. Mm-hmm. Until next time, it's your boy Rumak asking you to give pumpkins a chance. Give pumpkins a chance. No, not the pump. Let go. Not the pump. Too far.